the best thing to always do first is to read the problem, right? Which graph best represents the solution to the system of inequalities? And so here's our system of inequalities, and what they're wanting us to do is graph our system of inequalities and see which of these matches the graph, right? And so what you need to do is you need to write each of these two equations on your paper, right? And you need to get what by itself on both. Okay, so we need to write these two equations down and then work to get y by itself. So let's do that. So I'm going to write x plus y is less than or equal to 6. And so that's what you should have written. And then the other equation is x plus 2y is less than or equal to 8. And so on both of these, I need to work to get what by itself? Okay, so on the first one, to get y by itself, what do I need to do? Subtract x from both sides is correct. And so I have y is less than or equal to negative x plus 6. Good. So that is one equation we're going to graph, right? Now let's graph the other one. Get the other one where y is by itself. So what do I do on this red one? Subtract x from both sides. And so I have, good, 2y. Yeah, is less than or equal to negative x plus 8. But now, if you notice, the y is not currently what? So I need to get y by itself by dividing everything by what? And so I have y is less than or equal to negative 1x over 2 plus 4. Now, did you have to put this 1 right here in front of the x? No, you could have just put negative x there. I like to put it because then it makes graphing it easier. Okay. But now, look what you notice. On both lines, on this line, the less than tells us we have to shade above or below? Below. That's telling us to shade below the line. And what is this one in red telling us? It's got a less than also, so we have to shade what? Below. So on both of them, it's below. So let's go look at our graphs. Okay, let's look at A. On A, I have this line, and it's shaded below it, isn't it? And on this one, I have this line, and it's also shaded below. So the reason I'm checking the shading is I'm trying to eliminate some choices. I wasn't able to eliminate A. Let's look at C. Here's this line. Is it all shaded below it? And what about this one? So I can't eliminate C. Let's look at B. Okay, here's a line, and it's shaded below, isn't it? But then here's a line. Do y'all see this one? Is it shaded above or below this line? Above. Yeah, look, here it is. And here the shading is what? Above. So right there we know the answer will not be B. Just from me checking the shading, right? Let me show you again. Do you see this line right here? Is the shaded portion above it or below it? And we need them both to be below, don't we? So we know it's not B. Let's look at D. Okay. Is it below this line? It is. Is it below this line? But at least because we knew the above below, we were able to eliminate B, right? So we just increased our probability of getting it right to a third. If we guess now, we'd have a 33% chance instead of a 25% chance. Okay, so now let's look at the equations. This equation says negative x plus 6. So what is the plus 6? The y-intercept. And our slope right here, our slope is negative 1 over. Okay, so let's look at our graphs. Okay, and let's see which ones have a y-intercept at 6. Okay. Does this one have a y-intercept at 6? No. So I now know this one's not right. Right? Let's look at this one. Does this one have a y-intercept at 6? Yes. That doesn't mean it's right, because I hadn't looked at the other equation, but it also means it's not wrong. But we were able to eliminate A, weren't we? Yes. Look at D. Does it have a y-intercept at 6? Yes. It does. But at least we were able to eliminate what? A. So now we got the choice C or D. So now if you guessed, at least you got a 50-50 chance, don't you?
Yes.
So let's look at our other equation. What's the y-intercept on this one?
4.
And the slope's -1/2, right?
Yes.
So let's look at the last two. Does this one have a y-intercept at 4?
No.
So it's not C. So what do we know the answer is?
D.
Now, here's what let's do, though. Before we declare it the answer, let's check it. Okay? So we're saying that it has to have a y-intercept of what?
6.
And then go down 1 and what?
Over 1.
All right, so let's zoom in and see if it does that. It has a y-intercept at 6, and then let's see if it goes down 1 and right 1, does it?
Yes.
And then is all the shading below that line?
Yes.
Well, that worked perfect, didn't it? Now let's check the other line. According to this one, it's supposed to have a y-intercept of,
4.
and then it's supposed to go down 1 and right.
2.
Let's see if it does. So it's supposed to have a y-intercept of 4. It does. And it's supposed to go down 1 and right how many?
2.
And it does. And then it's supposed to be shaded below, is it?
Yes.
So we know that D is the correct answer. What was the right answer?
D.